studio where I have like a blank wall where maybe I could do a green screen and I could do effects and I could put more time into what I'm doing. I know for a fact that if I put more time into what I'm doing and I do more effects and such, then I'll get a wider viewing audience. The problem is right now, it's just not worth it, you know what I mean? Like, if I put all that time and effort into it, right now I'm doing really well just pumping out the quantity of content that I'm putting out. Not to say that the quality isn't up there, it's just that the video editing quality isn't there. That doesn't, the content of the videos is good, it's just not pretty, okay? And I don't have a lot of room to film. If I had my own office, I would have the ability, I have rooms where I could, excuse me, I have frog in my throat. More room to do things like a green screen, to do effects, to maybe start new series, to do all kinds of stuff that I've had ideas for. Do it. Would it be funny just to have me sitting here at the couch like this and maybe have gaming news things up here like to my left and I superimpose it with video editing? Or would it be maybe a green screen? I actually have a green screen that maybe I don't know where I could hang it. That's the problem with this condo. I really don't have a lot of space to do that kind of stuff. So I'm still bouncing stuff around in my head, but I am still working on that series and I am planning on possibly having that series come out in the next several weeks or month, if possible. Next year, I have an office, I can do green screen or maybe a cool desk or something somewhere where I can film it and look professional. I'll do it, but right now that I'm not doing because I have nowhere to film it. The fact that I'm going to be taking time out to be house hunting, the fact that I may actually be trying to actively sell this fucking condo and get the fuck out of here, but this is an amazingly positive thing for multiple reasons. Number one, if I get a place that has enough rooms for the very first time, I'm going to have my own office. I'm going to have my own equipment set up that's proper. I may have a green screen. I may actually be able to do creative things that I've always wanted to do and couldn't because I was crammed into this tiny fucking condo. Where it would be an ideal filming location for things such as a green screen or for me to just even have a backdrop to do anything. And what I'm looking for in my office is to have a wall where you could do a green screen, and this would be pretty difficult to make it work. So the space is nice, but for one of the things that I definitely wanted to do, yeah, the layout, it's going to be a pain. And this would be a pretty nice office area. Obviously the wall color, no, but I was looking at it and immediately, you got a wall right here, and you got a wall right here. 2 walls I could use for filming. And you got one side I could have my desk, all the equipment for direct capture and all that stuff, and on the other side I could have green screen and other equipment set up.
Actually, you'd want the green screen on the other side because the door's right here if anyone comes in. Bonk, shot ruined.
We'll see. Green screen in regards to like vlogs like now, I could be sitting behind a green screen and have shit popping up behind me as I talk for Ask the King. Could be pretty neat, right? It could lead to a totally new series, which could be pretty neat. I'll have a formal office. I'll have the ability to possibly, maybe I can do a green screen shot where I'm talking about the games I'm going to play this week and we have stuff going on behind me. You know what I mean? All that's possible. We're not going to have interrupting noises like the air conditioner anymore. We're going to have a more confined area. I'm going to try to get a green screen set up in there eventually. This back wall is blank, as you can see, completely blank. This will be my wall that I will use to film things such as green screen if I need a backdrop or whatever. I've got a pure, clean wall to do it. Okay, now what you're seeing, the view that you're seeing is actually a view, let me close the door here, of the wall. This is a completely blank wall that I'm going to be using for vlogs, for green screen shots, and for various different things that I'd like to do. I've never had just a blank freaking wall in my home to do that kind of stuff before, and that's going to be what this will be eventually used for this week, okay? So this is going to be my filming wall that I'll be filming against and have a green screen. I could use it as a green screen. I actually do own a green screen, but it's a really crappy one. I need to get a good one that I can like have stand up, you know, has its own stand or whatever. And I can have that behind me during during different things, the weekend preview and other stuff if I want to jump into stuff, and I think it could be a really big asset for me and my content, but I don't have it yet. That's something I'm looking to get soon. Eventually I'll probably have things like a green screen and other stuff going on the fly. Thank you for being patient during the transition time, and only better things are going to come from this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, I've ordered a green screen setup, and I'm going to talk about that in the weekend preview, so I don't want to spoil that. I'll talk a little bit about that in the weekend preview as well. But that'll allow me for my vlogs to basically have a backdrop behind me where I can have stuff, appearing. See what happens when this green screen setup shows up It also has a bunch of nice looking lights that should definitely help the lighting here in my office as well. Which, I have an announcement to make. I announced this on Twitter last night, but officially I wanted to talk about it in a video. I have ordered a green screen setup. Now what that means is that it's going to be a green screen that can go behind this love seat, all right? And I know that right now the framing isn't perfect. You can see I have the other wall, the corner in here, the shot by accident. It's not going to be like that. What I'm going to eventually do is position it so that maybe I'll move this a little bit further this way so you don't have that. And there's going to be a green screen behind me. And what this means is when I do vlogs in the future, let's say, for example, the weekend preview, right? And I'm saying, and then this Tuesday, Dark Souls 2 DLC. And I click, and all of a sudden behind me, you'll see Dark Souls 2 playing, or you see Dark Souls 2 art or whatever behind me. That's the cool kind of stuff that I can do with a green screen. And it's something that I've wanted to do for a long time. But when I lived in Connecticut, in my old place, there was too cramped. There was nowhere for me to do it. Now I have my own dedicated room for it. And it should work out. And the good thing is it's a big green screen and a bunch of professional lights for photography. So the lighting in here also is going to get dramatically better once all this equipment shows up, okay? Next question. This was from the Arid Lord. He says, do you have plans for a Christmas special this year? And if so, we'll use your green screen. I'm going to be honest with everyone. I have absolutely no thought in my head yet about the Christmas special. Do I want to do a Christmas special? Absolutely. Am I planning on doing one? Yes. Every year I do one. I will do something Christmas related. I don't know what the hell the special will be because, quite honestly, I've been so busy moving and then trying to get back into work and keep you guys entertained, and now we're going into the hardcore gaming season. I'm thinking that probably near the end of November, as things finally start to slow down, I'll start to have a better idea of exactly what it is that I want to do for a Christmas special. Yeah, absolutely. I have a green screen. I could film all over the house. So I have all these filming locations I can use now. I have a backyard, so there's a lot of potential for me to do stuff. I just have to brainstorm an idea first, and I really haven't had any ideas yet. So I'll think about it. You might be saying to yourself, what is this right here? This box right here is the green screen that I ordered. And it's here, and I never unpacked it because I just haven't had a chance. Hold on a second. This I should not leave there. This I should move here, so as not to squish the green screen setup. If I reach a certain set amount of contributions a month, called a Patreon goal, I will actually take time out one day, not fucking stream every day, but I will purposely take time out. I'll go into my closet, I'll rip out all that green screen equipment that I bought in the summer of last year. I'll try to set up the green screen, I'll get all the lighting rigs going, and we'll do some demo work and see if we can implement the green screen into things coming up, because how good would it be if I could do that in Project 7, or I could do that in vlogs, or I could do that in anything. The problem is, I need to stop working for a period of time to do it, which means I need to have something to make up for the fact that there's no new gameplay that day, and that's how Patreon works, okay? So for those of you who've been waiting and say, wow, Phil, it's been a month since you announced Patreon, you're still not doing anything with it, I'm sorry. I'm trying to do my best. I got market feedback from you guys from the forums. I'm doing my best to try to get as much information as I can before I launch it. I don't want to launch it and say, here we go. And, well, I don't want that goal. I don't care about that. This doesn't make any sense to me, so why would anyone care? I'm trying to do things that people are going to want to actively participate in, all right? Ultimately, if I'm going to be asking you guys for a contribution like that I've never asked for before, ever since I started making money doing this in 2011, I never asked for donations or anything. I always refused them, right? If I'm going to start asking for that, I want to in turn give you something new and different. So using a green screen, starting Project 7, implementing new vlog shows, that's the kind of stuff that I want to do in the new year. More editing of videos like I've already started doing. I want to do this, but that's why I need your support with Patreon, and that's why I want to set those goals on Patreon so we can maybe reach them and we can start implementing some of that stuff, okay? That's coming in the near future. Just tossing that out there. Project 7, anything that's going to be using highly edited stuff. In fact, people have been saying, Phil, why don't you use your green screen? And I said, I just realized, what camera am I going to use if I do my green screen? I don't have a 1080p camera. I have the Sony camera that I've used for stuff that's 1080i. That's the one that I actually use for Hateful Truth reviews and stuff like that. And it's okay, but it's not great. And I don't have anything that could do high quality video to even implement a green screen.
So I would really like to go out there and get a camera that, number one, has a giant lens, number two, has great focusing features, and number three is future-proof. And what I mean by that is, even though, yeah, maybe it'll do 1080p, maybe it could do 60 frames per second, which not a lot of cameras do, and maybe we could even get one that's a 4K camera, so I kind of future-proof myself a little bit. Maybe I could shoot in 4K, edit in 4K, and then when it uploads to YouTube, it downgrades the quality. Or apparently YouTube is going to support 4K at some point, so maybe we can even implement that, okay? So that's the kind of stuff I'm looking to do with this, new microphone, soundproofing, better camera. These are the goals that I think are going to be successful and help you and me with a successful Patreon moving forward. So that is the final goal. That is the stretch goal for April, $2,000 of funding. Like I said, do I expect to hit that? I do not. I think that maybe by the summer, hopefully, as more and more people gradually give $1, $5 and become ongoing patrons of just a couple bucks a month, maybe then we'll get closer to it, but by no means do I expect to hit this giant goal right away. If we do, awesome. I'll buy an awesome camera, I'll test it out, I'll set up the green screen in the garage, we'll mess around with it, but for now, I'm being realistic, and I don't expect that it's gonna happen, okay? So, all that being said, we've got a week and a half left. You only have a week and a half left to pledge to the April Patreon. With all that stuff going, in addition, this week, I'm committing to you guys. So I'm making a commitment to you. Unless there's some crazy extenuating circumstance, I'm going to take my green screen out of this closet where it sat since last summer. I'm going to trudge it down to my garage. I'm going to set the damn thing up. I might even film when I'm doing this, as this is going to show you all the work that I put into doing it. I actually bought extension cords this weekend for lighting because it came with lighting, but I never, set it up, and I know there's not enough outlets out there. So I got extension cords and shit to hook up the lighting, and I'm going to try to do some demo shots of me like posing and doing stuff in front of a green screen with this lighting. Then what I'm going to try to do is take those shots and put it into a program such as Adobe Premiere or somewhere else and try to see, can I do a green screen style shot where I can superimpose myself in front of things? That would be cool. And then if I make a generic green screen video, there's actually some people out there in the past who've made kind of green screen style stuff. Maybe they could do green screen me doing things, you know what I mean? So I'm going to try to do that this week during this downtime when I can't stream during the day, and hopefully we'll see some progress. So even though, again, you won't see gameplay or streaming during the day, you may see some cool videos coming out behind the scenes of me setting up the screen and testing it and doing stuff with it and seeing how it turns out, okay? In addition, check it out, all the new content. Hopefully I'll have green screen. I'm really excited if I can get some green screen for you guys out this week. We'll see, okay?
For a long time, I've been talking about implementing a green screen into my work. Setting up a green screen where I could do cool shots with backgrounds behind me and stuff. And quite honestly, I just never got around to implementing it when I lived in Connecticut. I had ideas of doing it, and I just never really thought I had any space to do it. So then when I moved here to Washington in June of last year, I said, I'm going to do it, and I bought a green screen setup. It used to be Release Day Unboxing. Now it's Garage Floor Unboxing. A new series. Unbox items on my garage floor. Okay, so the only real ripples you can see I am pleased with the green screen, as you can see. The only real ripples you can see on it is very minorly at the top and a little bit on the sides. But I think if I'm trying to just feel myself kind of walk across from, say, right here, I don't think we're going to have those issues. We'll have to see, okay?
I was able to buy this new microphone. Very shortly, you're going to be seeing soundproofing foam going up all around my office, right? I was able to take time out to work on a green screen setup, which I kind of messed around with, and people seem to be loving this week, right? I'll do like a green screen where behind me I'll show, artwork from the games or the history of the games, or gameplay from previous games that I've done, and explain how excited I am to play the game and how I'll be covering it that week. I never did it because I never had a green screen. Now I have a green screen, but the green screen's set up in my garage. And unfortunately, the garage is in the garage. It's not here in the studio, office, whatever you want to call it. I don't have a microphone set up over there to record my audio. So unfortunately, again, I have the green screen finally set up and working, but now I need to find more solutions for maybe capturing audio down there so that when eventually I do have a chance to do this kind of stuff, I can do it. What I'm thinking, and this is what I've been telling people for months now, is that what I'd like to do is get a better camera, a professional quality camera that maybe has audio in for commentary, and I can get a decent mic that I can attach to the camera, and I could do the voiceovers that way, and then I could just take that video, throw it right into Adobe Premiere, use the audio for the audio because it'll sound good because it's from a mic, and then do the green screen shit behind me in Premiere. But I need a better camera. My camera's now are very low quality. They're not meant to do that stuff. And that's what I'm trying to fund is my stretch goal on Patreon. If I ever raise extra, say $750 or so, I'd like to buy a camera that has that capability. And that'll be one of the things that I focus on, okay? So I would love to do game day, but I don't have the means to do it yet. I can't do a green screen here. There's no room in the office to do it. And downstairs in the garage, I don't have the ability to record audio right now. If I get a better camera, hopefully later this year, that's a great idea. That could be one of the shows I do down there, okay? All right, so that is it. We're gonna take a break. I need to rest my voice. I'm almost out of voice right now. Can buy a new camera. It's about a $750 budget to buy a new HD camera. Now, if you guys have checked out the stuff I did this week, for example, the green screen footage that I uploaded to my vlogging channel, The King of Hate Vlogs, you have an idea of the kind of stuff that I can do, but you probably also saw some of the limitations. In fact, yesterday, when I did MKX with fans, I actually superimposed my green screen footage on my intro for MKX, you know, all the fan art that I streamed for it, and you could see a lot of issues. You could see a lot of artifacting, a lot of the fact that the shadows were showing, and that's all a result of, number one, you know, lighting that I am going to get better at in time. That was the first attempt I ever made at it, and I already got some good suggestions on how to improve the lighting. But also, number two, the color balancing of my existing camera is not good. It's, first of all, the camera doesn't record in 1080p. It records in 1080i, so it's not the highest resolution that people use right now anyway. And number two, it doesn't have good coloring balance. So because of that, it wasn't great. I would love to have this budget to get a much better camera so that I could do things like that green screen. It'll be professional looking quality that we can put into upcoming series. And I've already got some great suggestions from people on Twitter and stuff. They're like, Phil, why don't you do this? This would be an awesome thing to do with it. And I'm like, that is a good idea. You know, people are being very creative and people out there are using the footage to do funny stuff. And I'm perfectly okay with that as long as obviously it's in good taste and it's not insulting. But some people have actually surprised me. People who have been pretty fucking mean to me made actually some pretty funny things that weren't insulting with the green screen footage that I actually had a good laugh at. And again, I have a good sense of humor. I'm okay with making fun of myself as long as it's not insulting or gonna hurt my business, and I'm okay with that. So I'm glad that people are enjoying that footage. So here's hoping, as I said, that by the summer, right now it's the end of April, we got May, June, and July. Let's hope I say come July, I can possibly raise enough money to buy a better camera that I can use for all of this kind of stuff, for my game reviews, for my green screen footage, you know what I mean? For a lot of stuff. And I'm really hoping that we can raise that amount so that we can get a better camera and better quality stuff, okay? Is one thing that I would definitely like to do by the summer is get a new camera. If you guys didn't see this past week, I had some time because they were doing construction on my place where I actually did green screen footage. And I've been messing with it. I made the new intro for Persona 4 as well as MKX has me messing around with the green screen, and I released the raw footage and people are going to town with it. It's hilarious the stuff that people are doing with the green screen footage with me dancing in front of the camera and stuff. But you can tell it's not high quality, meaning it's not 1080p, and it also has pixelated areas because the white balance of my camera, my existing camera, isn't very good, so it didn't make it great. It was okay, it's good for a first attempt. It's not great. What I would like to do is get a really high quality camera that, number one, does full 1080p, number two, has a great white balance, a nice big lens so I could do great green screen shots, number three, it has an audio input so I could buy a microphone that maybe I could suspend and do audio in the garage as well when I'm using this green screen, so it all sounds good. Right now my problem is I have a little primitive Sony camera I've been using for 5 years. It's not even 1080p, no audio input, so I can't even do audio down there. If I could get a new camera, say by the summer, that'd be great because I could start filming things like Project 7. I've got an idea for a cool parody series. These 2 or 3 things that I've been holding off on until I had the capability of doing them, and I haven't been able to do them. This would allow me to do them, okay? Do really high quality stuff with the green screen and other stuff for vlog series. I don't have that right now. I have a pretty crappy camera right now. So I'd really love to get better equipment, but again, it all depends on how things go with Patreon. So, less than 2 weeks left to pledge for the month of May. If you do pledge after that, unfortunately, you have to wait an extra month in order for your pledge to take effect. So I urge you to check it out, patreon.com/darksidephil. Good green screen work and shots and all kinds of new stuff for new series that I want to start, but I need a better camera to do them. The cameras that I have right now, this webcam certainly is not good enough to be doing some kind of a professional quality series, which is why it's shrunken in this video. It's not even good enough to blow up full screen. And my existing cameras don't even do high definition 1080p, don't have audio, and they're really messy. They're not cameras meant to do good kind of you know, anything creative. They're more for just point and shoot for on vacation or whatever. So through Patreon, all these improvements can happen, all right? The goals that I've set for the month of May. Now, this is where there's been some confusion. Let's go through them. Number one of the... Nothing interesting there. Really, the things that's changed are the things to the right. This looks very different than a year ago when we first moved in. First of all, obviously, here's my green screen setup, right? And this is what I've used to do a few different things so far, mostly used for intros into my gaming streams, but I am planning on using this setup in the future projects and stuff like that, okay? And then you say you made the camera. The camera that I'm looking to get is for better quality for those reviews, but also for me to do other things outside of just playing games. If I could get a great camera, I could do a Project 7 reboot and it would look amazing. The green screen videos that I've dabbled with a little bit would look way better, but I need a better camera to do it. That's why the camera is on there, okay? If I'm known for gaming, then obviously gaming is going to be my goal. I'm the game historian. I'm making videos about game history. So that's what your goals are. I'm a gamer, so I'm going to have goals about gaming, like play a Crash Bandicoot marathon, right? Or do a new Downtime series. That's kind of what my goals are. They're based off of what I do on YouTube. Do the amount of things we've been able to do, just the improvements to my quality, the green screen, or a game that I, you know, disliked for whatever reason. And it was going to be footage of the game, me playing the game, but also there was going to be cuts back and forth between the game and myself, and Deathface doing jokes and stuff about the game, and comedy skits, and maybe even superimposing. Eventually, I was hoping maybe I could get things like a green screen and put it into this project. This Project 7 from 2012 was completely different. I mean, super visual effects and sound effects and music and all kinds of editing and things that I could never do. I didn't have any of that kind of skill whatsoever, and I actually haven't heard from Jackie Chan in a while. And then back in June, if you remember, I actually started using my green screen for the first time, and I did some funny footage of me like posing in front of my green screen, and I was like, gee, I wonder if Jackie would like to do a bumper for my big playthrough coming up, Batman Arkham Knight, being that he did really cool stuff with green screen stuff and stream bumpers before. And I actually went ahead and submitted the green screen stuff to him, and there you go again. He gave blatant permission in you know, to use that in whatever it was, June or whatever, I don't know, June of 2015. He said, here it is. He gave me a stream bumper. So he had done all this stuff. He had done all this stuff for me over the course of the year. Now, I haven't heard from Jackie in a couple months. All of a sudden, for the past couple of months, okay, I started noticing that Jackie was like coming into the stream chat, and he was saying nasty stuff, not only towards me, like insulting me and saying I suck at games and, you know, the general shit that you would expect a detractor to say. He started coming to the stream chat and saying stuff like that, and I tried to pay it no mind or whatever, until he started doing it regularly, which led him to being banned from the stream chat. Because you can't come in the stream chat and just shit all over me or anyone. He was attacking other people in the stream chat who's being a nasty person. Then this past week, he starts going off his rocker, saying insulting and just stuff on my website. So, of course, he gets banned there. What do you want me to do? If you're going to associate with that kind of behavior, you're going to have issues. Now, keep in mind, I'm not using anything from Jackie. The only thing that I still use, that's from something, you know, from him, is that intro to Ask the King. That's it. I don't use anything else from Jackie. That's the only thing, and he hasn't made anything since the Batman bumper that he made 2 months ago for Batman Arkham Knight. And certainly now that I see that he's misbehaving, right, he's saying nasty stuff in the stream chat, and he's generally just obviously not happy with me for whatever reason, I wouldn't go to him to ask for another intro. You know, I'm not stupid enough to do that, you know what I mean? So I didn't, and you know, I'm kind of ignoring all of this, and apparently today, Jackie takes it upon himself to put up these copyright claims. Now, I'm going to actually say that probably he didn't do this today. It takes YouTube a couple days to actually go through with copyright claims and stuff. So maybe he did this a few days ago. He might have done it last week, and it took YouTube the weekend to process it, and it finally went through today. So, thank God, right? Thank God that for whatever reason, even though Jackie submitted for multiple videos against the King of Hate vlogs, which are bogus, here's the evidence that he made these for me and gave me permission to use them, okay? Despite that, he submitted against multiple videos, and apparently YouTube processed and approved, I believe it's 4 to 5 videos of mine for this clip that Jackie made for me. But luckily, ladies and gentlemen, luckily, I have to say this, there wasn't more than that. It could YouTube, for whatever reason, could have done multiple. Like I said, this was one, and this was one, and this was one, and they could have shut down my King of Hate vlogging channel right now, and you wouldn't be able to watch any videos on there. My business, it's allowed me to have better audio quality, green screen implementations. Unfortunately, I haven't used it in a while because of copyright issues on YouTube, but hopefully in 2016 I can come back with some things with that green screen. Honestly, you know, last year I used the Patreon money to improve stuff like my microphone, soundproofing my office, taking time out to learn how to do my green screen and stuff like that. And this year, the Patreon money is going to pay my bills. Any kind of thing that I have in a video that I don't own could be claimed. So immediately, it completely destroyed the idea of me ever using the green screen, because I can't appear in front of anything. I'm not even kidding you. Anything can be matched. So if any game that I wanted to be in front of, any fucking picture that I wanted to be in front of, anything, they'll just fucking flag it and I'll get a copyright strike. So immediately, I can't even use the green screen. After all the work I put in to building the thing in the fucking garage, I had all these plans. I had a plan to do all kinds of stuff with Fallout 4. I was saving bottle caps for almost 6 months so I could do scenes in Fallout 4 where it was like currency and I could joke around with bottle caps and stuff like that. And because of the bullshit, because of these fucking stupid kids, these fucking teenage losers, all right, I got fucked, and I can't ever use the green screen until YouTube fixes its copyright system, which, as you know, if you've been watching my vlogs recently, doesn't seem like they're going to. They don't give a fuck. So I'm fucked in that regard. I'm just sitting on my couch presenting games. I wanted it to look more professional. I wanted it to be interesting. So ultimately, I wanted to use my green screen. Now, for those who know the story of the green screen, that was something that I bought in late 2014, never had a chance to even set it up until the summer of 2015, and then only using it a few times. I used it for a background in like May or June. I did like a green screen dancing segment, and then I did one for Batman Arkham Knight. And then all of a sudden, my channels got flagged with tons of false and bogus copyright claims for fan art, for background art that was like official Nintendo art and shit like that. Basically, tons of artwork got flagged falsely for copyright claims. Now, none of it was legit, and it all got cleared up, but it screwed up my channel and cost me millions of views and dipped my channel out of the YouTube search rankings, okay? So basically, as a result of abusing YouTube's copyright system, because I decided to use the green screen, I got fucked. And it really hurt my business big time. In fact, I'd say from September 2015 to February of 2016, my channel's probably lost, and I'm not exaggerating here. I don't want people to understand financially how badly I got hurt. Probably anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 that normally I would have made as profit, I would have been using to pay my bills, to pay my taxes, all that. I didn't make it because my channels fell out of YouTube search and my views plummeted because of the false copyright strikes. Yeah, it was that bad. And that's why at the beginning of 2016, I was like, I'm uncertain if I can ever even continue to do this because of all the money that I lost. I don't know if I'm ever going to make it back. Now, the good news is the last 4 months, starting with March, all of a sudden my channel started to show up in search again. I started to get increased viewership, so things are working out for the best right now, okay? So it's a positive outlook. But since this happened, right, now I can't use the green screen. Anything that I put behind me with the green screen is now legally liable for a false copyright flag. And it's not worth the risk. It's not worth the risk of having a channel taken down off of YouTube and losing thousands of dollars of revenue to have a green screen behind you, all right? What about the green screen that you used last year? That was a good idea. I was going to use it for pre-streams. Now that I can't even do fan art and stuff in pre-streams anymore, it's been dead. And since I'm not working on edited content, the green screen's just kind of there, and I'm probably not going to use it anytime in the foreseeable future unless some special event or something comes up, okay? Making on YouTube at the time, all right? During that period of time, I actually considered opening an office. What I wanted to do, I wanted to get a brick and mortar office where I could actually have a filming area that could be considered like a studio, a room with a green screen, but also other areas and sections that I could film different kinds of things for projects. And I wanted to do creative projects. I wanted to do vlogging. I wanted to do, comedy series and skits, but also I wanted to keep doing the YouTube stuff. Basically, what I wanted to try to do was separate my work from my home. You know, a bunch of money off my taxes because I have a room in my house that's dedicated just for the business. To be able to do things in basically a better environment. You know, the soundproofing that I have here, the professional quality mic that I have in here. All right. And, you know, at one point when I was working with the green screen, I know now it's been a year and a half since I touched it, but that might change. I may be able to use it soon, but I'm not going to get to that. That's a different subject. But anyway, there was a bunch of things I knew I could do to improve my business that I couldn't do in this little shitty condo in Connecticut with the situation that I had. I was using when I used to do stuff with my green screen, which has been quite a while now, over 2 years. But there you go. Any of you are aspiring filmmakers or photographers, now you know what a light box is. I was like, because you keep in mind, I was doing all my stuff out of the condo in Connecticut, which was terrible. The acoustics were terrible. For tax purposes, I couldn't write off having an office because it was my living room. And basically, the quality of my stuff was not as good as I wanted it to be. What I wanted to do was get an office where I could have one room that was the recording studio. Just like I do here. I have soundproofing foam. I would have my gaming equipment in there. Then I would have other rooms where I could do other kinds of filming. I could have a green screen where I could do stuff like that. I wanted to do a gaming news show. And I did. I wanted to bring in other people to be part of my content, whether it was John or Howard or other people who were my friends and stuff, and bring them in to do shows with me and everything. This was my idea. I wanted to basically create the creatures. Mr. Swaggins did a 25-bit cheer and says, will your green screen get any use this year? Ladies and gentlemen, I will not make any promises. However, let me tell you this. When there is finally maybe some downtime coming up, I will consider maybe using the green screen again. In particular, with these pre-stream rolls and stuff, you'd probably like to maybe see me do some funny shit, right? Just like I used to do. So, yes, perhaps, you will actually see me doing some funny stuff on pre-streams coming out. We'll see. I'm not going to 100% promise anything. But, I mean, the freaking green screen has not been used in a million years now, and it may be time for it to come back. Especially now it's been a year where I've been using fan art and stuff again. And YouTube has changed to protect people from the bullshit, like copyright claims against fan art. So I think I'm in the clear there. So yes, I think we may see a return later this year. Again, no promises, but I'm thinking about it. The problem is my green screen doesn't fit in my office because it's giant. I bought a giant green screen years ago, and a little green screen will not fit behind me because there's nothing to attach it to the wall to make it work with my love seat. If I sat at my PC, like 99% of people who do what I do, then I'd be able to easily use a green screen. I don't do that. My setup's different, therefore I can't use it. Well, I explained that a bajillion times, but the thing is, people every year ask the same question. Newcomers come in and don't realize, you know, that it's been a long-standing thing. Oh, by the way, almost forgot. There we go. Spawn Killer tipped me $1 and asked, do you still have your green screen? I do. It is in the garage. Okay. It is in the garage. And it is huge. This is what people don't seem to understand about my green screen. When I bought this green screen, I wanted to be able to do all kinds of projects and stuff with it. Like, I had ideas. Now, keep in mind, this was years ago. I bought the green screen in 2014, and I built it in 2015. I had all these plans where I wanted to do a news show where I would kind of sit in front of a simulated news desk and do gaming news. I had plans to do a skit show where I was going to dress up as Deathface and do, like, gaming skits and parodies based off of silly things that YouTube does. You know, with their changes to their website and the like, basically a way to kind of give them a rib. I had all these ideas. And then, sadly, they all just fizzled out and died when I got those false copyright strikes in 2015. Because basically it was like, well, any piece of artwork I use in anything I do could have a false copyright strike put against it and shut down my channel. And if you guys don't understand what I mean, I had fan art that took Nintendo. So, for example, let's say Metroid Prime. So it took actual, you know, Nintendo-owned artwork of Metroid characters, and people made fan art out of it. They took, you know, okay, they cut out Samus, and it's me standing next to Samus or something like that, okay? That got copyright strikes against it. Because they said, oh, I work for Nintendo, and I'm copyright striking this Nintendo artwork, and YouTube's automated system accepted the strike and granted a strike against my channel. That's how dumb YouTube's automated system used to be. It used to be completely broken. Okay, it's different now. Now it doesn't put up with that shit. It's got people manually reviewing that crap, and 99% of the time it realizes everything's fake. Okay, but back then it was ridiculous. Okay, so yeah, I have my green screen, but I bought a huge one to do all this fun stuff, and you know, haven't used it in years. You know, it wasn't until recently that I started bringing back fan art to the streams. Because YouTube system changed and, you know, the copyright strikes against them don't work anymore. I have plans. Maybe I will use it sometime in the future. Right now, I'm definitely way more focused on just putting out entertaining streams for you guys. In which case, having the green screen implemented here doesn't really help. By the way, as I said a million times, I'll say it again. The green screen does not fit in my office. The green screen will not fit in my office. No green screen will work in my office. With my current setup, the way that I'm sitting here on the love seat, number one, the love seat is high up enough that the green screen wouldn't be positive to help at all. Number two, I have nowhere to hang it. I've got soundproofing foam behind me on the wall, and there's no way to attach a screen so it would look flat and tidy and nice for a camera, especially with the lighting I have in this office. There's just no way to do it, okay? And the negligible benefit of having a green screen, wow, there's slightly less background on Phil's webcam, is not worth, working hours and hours to see if I can get a green screen to finally fucking work. Most people who have green screens for their webcams on their streams have a setup where they sit at a computer desk and they sit on an office chair. That's easy. You can just put up a standard green screen standing behind you, and it's really easy to do. I don't have that set up. I never will. Therefore, that's why I can't do it. And honestly, as I said many times, I don't see the major benefit regardless. Just because it's something everyone does doesn't mean it's necessary nor that it adds anything. It's just something everyone does to say that they're a professional streamer. I've never seen the benefit. I mean, I know streamers who are professional streamers who don't even have a webcam. So figure that one out. They can do it. Obviously, it's not a big deal, right? All right, shout out to Cool Man. Into the wall cell, but like there's no way to adhere a green screen behind me and make it look good. It would basically, I could adhere one, but it would look like shit. It wouldn't even look, you would see all shit behind me. It wouldn't look smooth. This is not, where I'm sitting isn't the kind of setup where you can do an easy green screen or anything like that. John Gall, who cheered? He said, all employees. Jacko cheered again and said, new webcam, green screen, these things can change things up. Well, as for a new webcam, I'm not going to buy any kind of equipment until someone recommends something that's good. And people are like, oh, this webcam is bad. Well, this webcam I've used for a while. When I did buy this webcam, I bought 3 separate webcams at the same time that everyone at the time told me were the top of the line. And guess what? This webcam was the best. Now, here we are years later, people are telling me this webcam is outdated. Well, recommend a better one. If someone could recommend me a great webcam that's plug and play, easy to use, it will work with OBS, and isn't hundreds and hundreds of dollars, then yeah, eventually maybe I would look to upgrade my equipment, upgrade my webcam for the business. Absolutely. If I can afford it, that's the thing. If it's not, a $300 webcam, well, I can't afford that. I can't afford to buy a new PS4 Pro, when my PS4 audio out's screwed up. Then obviously I can't afford a $300 webcam, right? But if there's something that's reasonable, maybe the technology has advanced and now these things are much better, then absolutely I would consider something like that, as long as it's not something that's going to break the bank, okay? Green screen's not possible. I've said it about 400 times. There's nowhere to put it in my office. Behind my love seat, there's zero space between the wall and me. And if I tape it to the wall, it will look awful. The way a green screen works is it has to be very smooth and flat, okay? All right, so it has to be smooth and flat. And I can't do that behind me. I've got soundproofing foam. There's no space to stand up a green screen. This office is not a good office for lighting either. Like, I have to perfect the lighting to be straight up. And green screen doesn't add anything. I've said this 100 times. I'll say it again. When I see these streamers with green screen, it doesn't actually improve anything at all. The number one complaint I got is that my webcam looked unprofessional because it just kind of stuck out there. Well, now I have an overlay for it. So that excuse or that complaint is no longer valid. Because now it looks cool. It's got an animation and everything that plays around it. So, it is what it is. My style makes only certain things viable. And my style does not allow me to have a green screen behind me. If I were sitting at a PC with, a lamp in front of me and I hunched over my PC playing games every day, then that would be perfectly viable. And by the way, that's how the vast majority of people who use a green screen do it. That's not how I can do it, and I can't even do it like that in my office because of my setup. So, It is what it is, guys. And by the way, again, not a single person over the years has ever told me that there would be any kind of a positive benefit for the green screen, besides the fact that everyone else just does it. Like, that's great that everyone does something. Does that mean that it actually concretely adds a damn thing to the stream? No. Just that everyone jumped on the same bandwagon and it became a common practice without actually see, oh, okay, this added this or this to the stream. For me, I need to find a way to hook people to come watch my streams and enjoy them by getting over the negativity and the association of just this toxicity with me that I have nothing to do with. If you just come and watch my streams daily, you know that I'm not about that at all. But sadly, people are all about that when they come to hate on me. That's what we need to overcome. How you get people to come to the streams and see the real me and the fun that we have here on a daily basis versus, oh, let's do a green screen and a new webcam. That's not going to get anyone new. You know what I mean? You're still going to have the same people say, well, I'm not going to check him out because of the negativity. So honestly, there's no room for anything behind me. That's also why I can't do a green screen. There's no space here to put a green screen into the wall. So, Kate cheered. Alucard Ali cheered and says, will we get a green screen redemption run? Well, if you don't know what Alucard is talking about, 2 years ago, I purchased a green screen and I set it up in my garage and I filmed some funny stuff in front of it where I dodged around. In fact, when people cheer and you see that pop-up message for people who cheer 50 bits or more, that's from my green screen. That's when I was doing my green screen setup and I was just doing silly stuff in the garage. Okay? I guess what Alucard is asking is, will I ever use it again? I mean, I could, but I really don't have much expertise when it comes to that. Like, I mean, like, I really wouldn't be able to do much with it if I set up the green screen and, you know, danced around in front of it. I wouldn't be able to jump into, say, a video editor and do good stuff with it. I would have to rely on kind of you guys to kind of, you know, jump in and try to do stuff with it, you know. Excuse me. So yeah, I mean, will I ever use the green screen again? Honestly, yes, I probably will. I probably will eventually use the green screen again. When will I? I don't know, but we'll see. Okay. So behind me, there's no room. This is a wall. Look, I'm touching it. I'm touching the wall behind me right now. It's literally directly behind me. I couldn't put a green screen here. There's nowhere to put it. If I taped it to the wall, you would see ripples and shit on the wall and the green screen would look terrible. And people who use green screen for their streaming setup, basically they're sitting at their PC on their chair, all right? And they have a green screen standing behind them. I can't do that. My setup doesn't allow me to do that with the space that I have. As a primarily console gamer, I don't have the same setup as the vast majority of people that you see streaming on Twitch, okay? Now, later today, when I'm playing games on my PC, yeah, if I had a green screen, a little small green screen, I could probably prop that up. But even then it would be lighting. Or how do I get a light over there at my PC to light me properly so that you can see the green screen? It's just, basically a green screen is a ton of fucking annoyance and work for very, very minimal payoff, if anything. Like, I don't get people coming in and complaining about not having a green screen. I don't. At one point, when everyone was like, you got to stream with a green screen, people were complaining. But after that, after I basically said, you know, what's the point? It doesn't add anything to it. It's not a big deal anymore. People don't really ask for it anymore. And it honestly, again, I don't think it would, for the tremendous amount of work, extra setup, and effort slash annoyance to get it to consistently work and look good, I don't think there would be enough benefit, okay? Now, if I ever redo my setup completely, like let's say eventually I get rid of this love seat and I get a smaller thing to sit on over here and I have a little bit of room now behind me in the office, then yeah, maybe I would consider doing it, but right now that's just not the setup I have, so that's why I don't use a green screen, okay? Biology Bob tipped me a... This is a dead end. Pro CFO to me $1 says I should get a green screen. I have a green screen, but it's not one that would fit in my office, and sadly because of my setup, I couldn't fit one behind me. There's a wall here. There's nothing here. I can't. There's foam. I can't put a green screen there. It wouldn't work. If I ever change my setup completely, like rearrange my office, or if I get rid of this love seat eventually and get something smaller, then I could probably do it, but I can't do it right now. Ripley Atomic just cheered, and Ripley Atomic says the following: 10 years of unique commentary and gameplay, which is why it frustrates me people want you to lower your standards and use green screens and other generic things every other streamer on Twitch does. You've lasted so long because of how different you are. Listen, here's my opinion, and this is a very, very experienced opinion after doing this for 10 years. Sometimes you do need to change to do things that are common practices that will actually improve your content. I'll give you a perfect example. Going from using a shitty camera pointed at my television to going direct capture was a huge positive. Going from just doing on-demand videos on YouTube to being an interactive live streamer was a huge positive, right? But these were things that I was resistant to. And eventually I softened up to the idea and I made changes and they all worked out positively for the better, right? But I do agree that just doing what everyone else does because everyone does it and it's the status quo is not the way to go, you know? Going ahead and making every video that I do on YouTube an edited video with an edited thumbnail and tags that are abusive to the YouTube system to get people to come watch my content, and doing the react videos like every fucking gamer does because they literally take zero effort and have zero quality, but everyone watches them for some fucking unknown reason. You know what I mean? Like taking all these trends of things that everyone fucking does to be popular. I never really did those things, you know? One of the things that everyone says you need to do if you're a streamer is have a green screen behind you. What is the benefit exactly? Not a single person has been able to legitimately explain to me having the green screen how it would benefit me. Like, oh, there would be less around you. Okay, but is my camera super intrusive on gameplay? No, it's not. So then who cares? What's the fucking point? And that's the thing. There's just people who, well, if I gotta be successful, I just gotta do what these big people do. And it becomes a mindless drone kind of thing. If you want to stream, you gotta do this checklist. And if you don't have the checklist, you can't be successful. If anything, I think I've proven the opposite. You could be different and you can still be successful. Not to say that I haven't adopted a lot of things that popular people have adopted. I mean, I got the Stream Stats leaderboard, right? That's something that's directly from other streamers, you know? But I do things a lot differently too. I'll do advertisements early on in this segment now, the pre-stream, and then I don't do them anymore. Like, I will not advertise anymore during my stream. I'll just play the game. You know what I mean? A lot of people have frequent ad breaks. A lot of people have frequent plugs. I don't do that, okay? Because I just say, let's get out of the way. That's what the pre-stream's for. And then let's get on to the gameplay and make the whole stream about fun, interactive gameplay rather than constantly interrupting for different things, okay? You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things that I think are beneficial, and there's a lot of things that aren't. You know what I mean? So, for me, it's a mix, and it's finding that perfect balance, because I do feel that if I did everything that everyone else does, let's have a music playlist on the stream, let's have text-to-speech, let's have weird sounds play every time that someone cheers, let's do, now the stream, let's have a cup, a fucking tips cup that fills up at the bottom of the screen. You'll have so much shit going on. It's not even about the game anymore. You know what I mean? It's more about all the other shit that distracts the fuck out of you and not actually about playing the game. And that's the thing. I don't ever want my content to become so diluted, so watered down with all these other distractions and things about making money and plugs and shit that I don't want it to now, when you watch the game, it's like, well, the game's the backseated thing. That's shitty to me. Ideally, what I would do if I got rid of the love seat, which I can't do now because I have no money, but if I could get rid of the love seat, I would probably get a much smaller one or a nice office chair that's comfy. And if I did that, guess what, everybody? I would have room behind me to hang a green screen, which is what everyone has always wanted. But I don't have money to buy anything new right now, and I really have nowhere to put the love seat either. If I were to get rid of this love seat, I have nowhere to put it in the house. Nowhere to put it. So Ladder Slider, if I actually did stream from my PC all the time and I had a better setup, because usually the setup sucks. The lighting's terrible, the positioning of the camera's bad. It's just not very good for when I stream on PC, right? But if I did it all the time and I had a better setup, then I would consider getting a green screen for behind me, one of the small ones. But most of the time I stream from over there, my love seat, and I play on console, and there's no room over there to set anything up. I'm actually in the wall of my office with the soundproofing foam and everything. So even though I looked into it, there's really no way that I could do it. By the way, Rosa just learned Reflect, and this was actually... Poopster cheered again and said, I love the mascots you've had. They add a little flair to the stream. People did complain for a while that the background was super boring. And they were like, well, why don't you have your green screen? Because I can't fit it in here. But I could fit stuff out here on the couch behind me. Dollar tip, they said, do I still have my green screen? Can I do gaming news? My green screen is not for an office like this. My green screen that I bought is humongous, okay? The green screen I don't know if I ever showed you guys a picture of it. Actually, I don't think I ever did. It's the length of my garage. Because what I wanted to do was full green screen things where I could dance or, do things in the green screen for animations, for projects. I was going to use it for, like, edited content. And I did once do it. Remember, I did all those poses in 2015, and that's how people did the intro artwork and stuff for my streams and everything, right? But then what ended up happening was in 2015, I got all those false copyright strikes for all that stupid shit, and I basically never bothered with it again. It's still, right now, it's still set up in my garage, the length of my garage, because I don't really have anywhere to put it. If I disassemble it, I guess I could throw it in a closet or something. But it's not a little screen that I could fit here. Plus, there's no room. There's literally, here's the wall. That's the wall. There's no room behind my sofa here to put a green screen. If I did that, I would have to pull this love seat out, push this back, and now I'd be like right my face in the fucking TV. So sadly, my office is too small to really have like an effective green screen setup. If I did more stuff on my PC, then maybe I could do it, but what I would need to do is set up lighting to face me. It would just be a mess. I'd have to completely like redesign my office to try to get it to work, and there's no benefit to doing it. You guys don't mind seeing the shit behind me. It's not a big deal. It's not distracting, and even though so many streamers, the green screen's so cool and hip, it's not. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't add anything at all. And that's why I have this cool overlay. It's fine. It doesn't distract or nothing. So, thank you again. It said also green screen redemption, run shout out. Well, as I've told you guys, there's no way I could do a green screen in my office. Just my setup does not allow for it. If I were someone who was sitting in front of my PC with more space for a light to be there, and then I could have a green screen set up behind me, I would do it. But I don't. I have an office with soundproofing foam all over the walls. I sit on a love seat. It doesn't work. It wouldn't fit. It can't put it on the wall. It doesn't work. I've tried it. So that's why we have the little overlay thing. And in truth, green screen adds nothing. However, if you're talking about doing just the green screen stuff, like I used to do, like I did three, what was it, 4? Oh my God, it was almost 4 years. Oh my God. Yeah, it was 2015. I set up the green screen, and I did those, recorded a few clips for the green screen, which people then edited into, green screen stuff for streams and the like. Could I do more of that? Yes, I could. Absolutely. Would it add anything? I don't know. I don't have a video editor anymore, so I couldn't even do anything with it myself. I would have to be relying on you guys to actually do something with it. So, I don't know. I don't know if I would do it. We'll see. There's always a chance, but the thing is, it's all about free time, of which I have precious little of. So, and I had done the green screen stuff. And, yeah, I did the green screen stuff. And people used that to make videos, and then gave them to me and said, Phil, use these on your streams. We love you. And then 2 months later, claimed all those streams on YouTube saying, oh, that was my video, which makes no sense, because how could it be their video when it's me in the video? Like, they used my persona, my visage, I guess would be the best way to say it, in their own fan-made green screen video, and gave it to me permission to use it, and then claimed it afterwards, which makes no sense. It's me in the fucking video. How can you claim against me for me? But again, YouTube systems were so bad back then that they would allow this. It was all automated. So I got a ton of strikes against DSP Gaming. And at that point, I was still partnered with Machinima, and I had a meeting with the head of partnerships at Machinima, all right, and YouTube. We were all there together. And I said, what should I do? And I was told directly by YouTube, take down any video, that has this kind of fan art in it, because these people may have already put in dozens, if not more, of these strikes against you. And they could already be in the pipeline, and there's no way that they can stop them because it's an automated process. So I had to go and delete, oh man, hundreds. It took me a whole day. Hundreds of videos. And millions of views were deleted from DSP Gaming, the channel. And when that happened, basically when that happens, when you see someone delete a ton of videos and millions of views are erased, YouTube's algorithms, everything automated, says, oh, there's obviously something wrong with this channel because there's no way that a legit channel with no kinds of funny business going on would have millions of views deleted and all these videos deleted overnight. So when this happens, it kicks you out of YouTube's rankings. And I actually confirmed this again about 2 months later with Machinima and YouTube, that DSP Gaming, that had once been very prominent in YouTube's rankings for a gaming channel, was removed. And so now none of my videos were showing up in the high-ass rankings for gaming. You would have to specifically search for DSP Gaming in a game to find my videos. So I went from being one of the most prominent gaming YouTubers associated with, a new game comes out, my video would show up in the search and you'd be able to find the stuff and it would get lots of views because of that, to getting absolutely zero organic views, none from YouTube's search or related videos. None. And in fact, it actually got worse because if you remember, people were making so many negative videos about me. Now the negative videos were in the search rankings, so people were seeing negative stuff before they ever saw my stuff, okay? And it sucks because, quite frankly, this situation ruined my YouTube following. Like, I, at that point, had been able to do YouTube solely for a living. And it was actually that year, 2015, when that was it. It fell through, and I had to start doing Patreon, and I had to seek other methods of income because just the YouTube income wasn't enough anymore. And quite frankly, everyone, since then, it's just been a downward spiral, and there's nothing I can do about it. There's absolutely nothing I can do to fix the situation. It was 100% the work of those fucking trolls that destroyed my YouTube career. I could have been able to keep doing YouTube full time indefinitely if that hadn't happened. But that one act of copyright abuse and fraud, because it's a crime to do it, it's illegal, it's fraud, screwed everything up. And since then, I had to do everything. Change everything, rebrand the channel as a different kind of channel. It's just an archive channel now, refocus, and now I'm a streamer, I had to make so many different changes as a result of that. And, there was nothing I could have done about it. It was maliciously planned as an actual attack against me. The people who did it came out later and admitted this was all planned from the start. And they had always intended for this to happen to me. It's fucked up. Again, people I don't know, people I never did anything negative to. It's pretty fucked up, huh? But that's what people do. Just because, they can, oh my God, this is so good. I had a negative impact on someone. Oh, wow. And it gives them a value, like a feeling of self-worth. Because in their real lives, they don't have any, So, oh, wow, I actually hurt a YouTuber. Oh, wow, I'm such a special person because I did something impactful on someone. It's fucked up. It is. It's just messed up. And, for people like us, normal people, this is just like a heinous thing. You think about it, you're like, wow, that's really messed up. That this is someone who busted his ass for years and years to put out content for free and was making a living on it, and you took away his living. For what? For nothing. Just because you could. Yeah, and that's my fucking reality. Seriously. That's my reality. It sucks. All right, and Jake likes cats appropriate. Hodartar cheered. So can you tell Mama Burnell to tell you to turn on text-to-speech and do green screen footage? You hold your advice in high regard. All these things might help the business in the long run. No. Palm Prius said, what about setting up all of my statues and stuff behind me in my office on a shelf? That wouldn't happen because I have the soundproofing foam, as you guys can see. In fact, it was funny. Someone was actually trying to help me rearrange my office on my website, the kingdomhate.com forums. Someone had posted up an idea to rotate all my shit around. So, like, my TV, where did they say my TV would be? Over here, I think. I would be sitting over here against the wall, so I would have room for a green screen. And then, like, my PC and stuff would be right here where I'm sitting now. To which I said, that's fine, except there's one problem. My air conditioner has to be in front of the window, and it would literally be blowing not only on me, but all my equipment, like my laptop and everything, nonstop during the hotter months of the year. And it would basically make me cold, and it would damage the equipment, so I couldn't do that. That's actually why where I am, because the air conditioner's there, and it's maximum distance from where I'm sitting, so that way it's not blowing directly on me. Green screen took me $1, so I thought you wanted me. Why don't you love me anymore? I never loved the green screen. I thought the green screen was funny for like a week. I did. That was about it. Yeetus tipped me $1. Says, would you ever do an IRL stream seeing you in the same background every day is boring? Maybe a green screen would work. No. Nihilistic Wishlist Charity said, would it be possible to get green soundproof foam that you could use as a green screen behind you? No. Thank you to everyone who contributed today. That being said, people have had monstrous speculation. What is this positive thing that Phil's going to announce? You know, what is it? Is it a green screen for the office? It comes. This is the wall. The couch is against the wall. There's no room behind this couch. People seem to think there's like tons of room. There's nothing here. It's the wall. So I can't do anything behind my couch. That's why I could never do a green screen or anything like that behind my couch. Like people have said over the years, oh, Phil, why don't you have a green screen or whatever behind your couch? That's why. Why don't you have a green screen or whatever behind your couch? That's why. I mean, could I put a blanket on my love seat? I could, but that's not going to attract elephants. Cody Carl Shirley said, have you ever considered selling your green screen, all the equipment for it, like lighting? If you haven't used it in 4 years and don't have plans for it. It's not exactly in the best condition. It's been sitting in my garage for a while. Not only is it dirty, but over the years it kind of, you know, doesn't last very well if it's not packaged up. It's not anything I could resell, let's put it that way. So, the answer is no. More than likely, eventually, the lighting I'll probably keep because the lights work fine, but the green screen itself is like in disrepair, so I'm probably just going to end up getting rid of it eventually.
We got a big game this week.
And Bagel Goose Cherry said, if you had a green screen, would you get the highest tip of the night, pick the background? No. Well, what are you talking about? People are never satisfied. That's all it is. It's like, no matter what you do to improve, and no matter what you do to kind of cater to what people want, people still will not be satisfied. So, if I added a green screen, the next thing would be, you know, you didn't do this. If I did this, then the next thing would be this. So, you know, meaningful stuff I usually listen to. Silly stuff I don't. I'm sorry, but shaving more often adds absolutely nothing to my streams and no one will give a shit. Dressing in a suit and tie versus wearing a gaming shirt doesn't affect anything and will not affect, you know what I mean? It's just stupid. So, thanks for the suggestion. Thanks for the $1. You see me with a border around the camera. That was a really stupid idea that I just did that. You see me with a border around a webcam, all right? You see a little bit behind me. I mean, what do you see? You see this right here. You see a little bit of wall. You see a little bit of chair, you know, and a little bit of my microphone, okay? If I were to do a green screen, first of all, you'd still see the sofa. I can't put a green screen hanging behind me on the sofa. All that would change is that you wouldn't see this little bit of wall, a little bit of foam behind me, okay? Arguably, I guess I could get rid of my border for the webcam, so that would go away, and not that that's a huge deal, but what you're telling me is that getting rid of a little bit of wall and a little bit of foam behind me is going to revolutionize my streams for the mainstream, and people are going to come in droves to take me to the next level, and it's going to be blown away, right? I mean, call me a little skeptical, but I seriously don't think that that's going to change anything, okay? First of all, I'm ugly. No one wants to see my ugly mug any better, high definition, than you see me in my videos anyway. I'm not some attractive dude or, you know, webcam girl who people want to see me in any higher quality than I'm in right now. If anything, people ask me, please make it more fuzzy if you can. As fuzzy as possible, Phil, please. My eyes, you know. And in addition to that, you know, as I've said many times, it would be a huge chore to try to find a way to get a screen behind me, because this is the wall. The wall is right there. Now, if I put a green screen in front of the foam, number one, that negates the effects of the foam, and number two, the foam would make the green screen look stupid. So you'd hear echo more on my mic, and the green screen would not look flat, and you'd see all fucked up behind me. It wouldn't look good. Plus, I wouldn't be able to get into the closet here, because the closet opens right here, and if I put a green screen here, it blocks the closet. Now I can't get into the closet to get my supplies. So the truth of the matter here is that number one, I don't think it would add anything to the streams whatsoever. No one's ever convinced me. No one's ever said, Phil, no, really. Here's what you could do with the green screen that would blow us away. Not a single person has ever done that. It's essentially, the only argument I get is, well, a lot of other people do it. Okay? A lot of other people do it. That's great. Does that mean that I have to do what everyone else does? You know, just because I deleted a little bit of wall and a little bit of foam, does that change the quality or the content of my stream? Does that revolutionize my content for the masses? Or is it just that it's something that people have been kind of like brainwashed into thinking you need to put on a live stream, when in reality it adds absolutely nothing? It's a gimmick. okay? It wouldn't add anything to my streams. What am I going to do behind me, right? Not a big deal. So, truth of the matter is that no, I don't think that it would put me to the next level, and no, I have no plans on instituting a green screen behind me because it's not going to change anything, okay? All right. Froggen says, I'm happy you don't use green screens like everyone else because you can have holiday-themed decorations and stuff in the background like you do now. Like, I like that. I agree with you. Like, I like having Halloween stuff in the background. Got a spooky ghost. Little Jimmy cheered. He says, hey, DSP, looking forward to more Death Stranding. Have you thought of getting a green screen? Not for the office, no. I have one, a ginormous one, that I used, like, once ever in my garage, and I never got around to using it again. Because sadly, when I used it, a lot of people hit me with false copyright strikes and shit for using it. Basically, it was a mess. I can't put a green screen behind me in the office here. There's no room. Plus, I sit on a love seat, and there's no way to hide the love seat from, you would still see it. So you'd have like a tiny bit of green screen above my head, and that's it. It wouldn't even be worth using. And quite frankly, no one's ever in the years and years that I've been streaming, no one's been able to convince me that a green screen would help my content at all. Like, the overlay that I use seems to be perfectly fine. And by the way, it's nice because, like you saw last month for Halloween, we had all these nice decorations. For Christmas, I'm going to have all these nice decorations. If I had a green screen, you couldn't see them. So I like how I'm doing it. And I don't think there's a reason to try to implement a green screen. If ever I was able to rearrange stuff in my office in a way that I could fit one here, I would do it. But it just doesn't seem viable the way that I stream. But I'm sure people would have different variations of suggestions. Some people like green screen. Yeah, here we go again. The same tired things that we know are not going to improve my content. More of an impact on things. But outside of that, I keep telling you guys, I cannot do a green screen here. This is the wall. And right here we have the foam. There's green screen here would be all folded and look terrible. And you can't put a green screen behind the couch. Then I'd still be sitting on the couch. What's the point of the green screen? You'd have like a tiny bit of stuff you can put behind me, almost nothing, right? I'm not like other gamers who sit in a computer chair, and so they can put a green screen behind them, and all you see is their silhouette and nothing else. I have a completely different kind of setup, so it's very hard for me to do a green screen thing. And then he took me another $1, says, what was your intentions of making the green screen video you made years ago? Just for messing around, and to see if anyone wanted to do anything silly with it and make videos out of it, make memes out of it, which people did to some extent, although some of them were negative, but they did, so. But just to mess around and be silly.
Just a little long.
I danced in front of a green screen and put the footage on the internet, so they edited my green screen footage onto, like, artwork of games and stuff that I was going to play, and I used that as intros to my streams for quite a while. It was like 4 or 5, 6 months, okay? All of a sudden, in the middle of the summer of 2015, I started getting copyright strikes against my DSP gaming channel stating, oh, you illegally used artwork that you didn't have permission to use, you stole it. And therefore, since you don't own the copyright, people are taking down your videos. So, in a panic, it was the trolls. They basically made all this artwork and intros for me, gave me permission to use them on my forums and everything. Legally, I had permission, but because of YouTube's broken copyright system, they were able to abuse that system and give me repeated copyright strikes to the point where DSP Gaming was going to get shut down. So I had to, at that point, I worked with a partnership company. I worked with YouTube. They said the best course of action was to go back and take down all of the videos that had the artwork from those people in it. We're talking, half a year's worth of daily pre-streams. It was actually, when I finally deleted all the pre-stream videos that I was told to delete, it was millions of views. My DSP Gaming channel lost 3 million total views on it. When that happens, when a channel just all of a sudden instantly loses views, YouTube's algorithm erroneously thinks, oh, there's something wrong with that channel. Maybe that channel got punished by YouTube or something. And it basically kicks that channel out of the search algorithm. So overnight, no one was seeing DSP Gaming anymore in the search on YouTube. During that fall gaming season, when typically people would come in to watch me play the new releases, I didn't show up in search results anymore playing any of the new releases. So my views went down, my revenue went way down. I went from making this much to like making this much, and it was like it was at least about a third of my income went away. And basically I never got it back. My YouTube channel, DSP Gaming, always stayed on the decline. It never properly got back into search algorithms, and my views always stayed lower. I never got that natural influx from related videos or YouTube search to get my channel back to where it was. So then I had to start doing other things like focus on Patreon events and other things to try to make money to get back to where I was. In reality, okay, I never really even got close to back to where I was until around 2017 when I became a full-time streamer. But by the time that happened, my debt had massively accrued. Instead of me being able to keep those credit card balances where I wanted them or pay them down at the 0% interest or whatever, I had no money to pay them. So what I had to do is take out more debt to pay the debt. So now I had to take out loans to make the payments on the credit cards. I was juggling balances left and right. And then in 2017, another thing happened with taxes. Now that was completely unrelated to the trolls. That was a tax attorney actually screwing me over. That was like over $10,000 I had to pay to fix that. So that was more debt added on top and more money I didn't have to pay. So you see what I mean? It was just this big snowballing effect. It all started with the trolling in 2015. If that trolling had never happened and DSP Gaming stayed where it was, I would have been making as much money as I was, if not more. None of this would have happened. Maybe I certainly would have still had debt and I wouldn't have been able to pay it all off, but it all started snowballing with those troll shitheads in 2015. And I've never recovered. And now I'm in the situation I'm in because of that. So there you go. This is the herb shop. This is not... ideally, and this is the truth of the matter, ideally, something that's not as big, a smaller thing, still comfy, but something smaller that I can sit in so I can have a green screen behind me. Since you guys have screamed at me for years to have a green screen behind me, there's no way I could do it with my current love seat setup. It's just not possible, okay? If I had a smaller chair here that I could sit in, and it's a comfortable chair, and then I could have a green screen set up behind me and I do it, I would do it. I would absolutely do it, but I can't do it with my current setup. It's just not possible. So... Number two, there's nowhere behind me to put a green screen. I don't know how many times I can tell you guys this. Stop it with the green fucking screen. It's not going to happen. There we go. H3 Productions tipped me $1 and says, do I have permission to use your green screen videos in one of my videos? I made green screen videos many years ago. I want to say now it was like at least 4, if not 5 years ago. Oh shit. And when I did, I put them on the internet with the, with the green screen background for a reason. So if people wanted to do silly things with those videos, they could. And of course they did. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much been on the internet for years. You can do whatever you want with that. I can't stop you anyway. Like, what could I do to possibly stop you, right? So thank you for the $1 tip. I get the feeling that it's not the real H3 Productions. Eventually, if I could, is get rid of this thing. Get some kind of a chair that's a much smaller, maybe just like a single chair instead of a double love seat, but just a single chair thing that I could sit in, and it's a much smaller profile, and then maybe I could actually fit a green screen behind me, right? Like everyone has yelled for years and years and years. Maybe I'd finally be able to do it. I can't do it with this thing. It's too big. But maybe I would be able to do it if I changed this thing, got rid of it. Now, people say gaming chair. Fuck no. Not a gaming chair. Gaming chairs are incredibly overpriced, incredibly overrated. They suck. I know because I have one and it sucks. I'm serious. That gaming chair that I got, what was it, 2 years ago? It sucks. And that way, also nothing that's super high behind me, so I could do a green screen behind me. But I would have to see what's available out there. Yeah. Set up a green screen. It's a new thing that these hipster streamers are doing. They're putting a green screen behind them. Pretty cool. They're getting rid of the backgrounds. And they're just, that's pretty unique. I don't think anyone else is doing that. So I want to be at the forefront of technology. And I want to be one of the first people to adopt a green screen setup on my streams. We're going to break ground here. Okay? So that's some of the things I'd like to do this year. Just get rid of that, which I have to pay for. I have to pay for someone to get rid of that shit. And, then get a new chair, maybe get a green screen set up. That stuff maybe I'd like to do by the end of the year. I got to get through this month of July. And I'm actually, as much as I'm dreading getting bad news, because my life has been a series of ups and downs like this, especially since I've been on YouTube. High, then a low, then a high, then a low. When we expect to see the green screen implemented, right now, Crowdcock, there's no plans or ETA on any kind of stream improvements, as I've said many, many times. This month is a very important month for me. At some point, the federal government will be contacting myself and my tax attorney in regards to my back taxes. I will now have to work with my tax attorney by paying him a lot of money and then having him work with the government to work out a tax plan for me. Once that tax plan is figured out, which hopefully will be reasonable and will not require any upfront money, I hope, then I'll be able to resume doing my monthly payments for that, continue on with my payments as I've been doing for taxes this year, go from there and see, without I will have an established idea of what I owe every month, how much money I have for extra stuff, like upgrading my setup or whatever. So we're going to find out. We're going to find out, hopefully by the end of this month, or at the very least sometime in August. I hope by the end of this month, though, because I would like to have that guidance. And, you know, it's not impossible for me to do it. What I would do is I would get rid of this love seat. I would have to hire a company, I guess, to come take it, because I can't get it. I can't bring it to a dump. I don't have a truck or nothing. I can't get it out of the house either myself. So I'd probably hire a company to come pick it up, get rid of it. And then I would probably go see if that brown chair that I have in the storage nook, if I put it here, what it would look like, you know? I don't care, like, if I leave the webcam on, I could just use that brown chair. But I'm curious, would the brown chair be a good level that I could put a green screen behind me, right? I guess we'd have to mess with it and see. I could finally get a green screen for my content, which people have only asked me for, you know, a million years, and we can do all this improvement stuff because I can actually do it now. I'm in a situation where I'll be able to fucking do improvements, which I've wanted to do for years and years. That would be amazing. Now, I'll guarantee that that's going to happen because we got to see what happens, you know, in this next thing. But you see what I mean? Like, things are just so different for me now. My world is opening up for the first time in years. As Papa Vera and others have said, this is where green screen comes in handy. You know, something I'm looking into. Maybe later this year I can do it. We'll see. Okay? Yes, the green screen that you guys have asked me for years and years and years, even though you still, I feel, have not convinced me that I need it. All right? But since you guys have literally never stopped pestering me for a green screen and say, if I have the room for it behind me, because this giant thing is out of here, then I can probably set one up. All right? And I guarantee you it's not going to be perfect. There's going to be adjustments and things I need to do to set it up perfectly so it doesn't have issues. But I feel that I could probably get a smaller portable green screen that I could put behind me for the webcam, so that when I'm on stream, all right. So instead of having this border on the side, right, that border would be completely gone, and it would just be, you'd see me with my vest if I'm still wearing them, and maybe a little bit of the chair, but that's it, and then transparent behind me, kind of superimposed over my gameplay. Now, obviously, I'd have to, for every game it's different. I have to find the right place to put it. But I feel that, you know, you guys have been asking me for it for so goddamn long, right, that, you know, I'd be able to do it. Now, before people get ahead of themselves, because people are so ridiculously stupid. But what about that green screen you bought 5 years ago, Phil? Well, let's see. The green screen, that number one, is the size of my garage. I bought a giant green screen not for the office, but what I wanted to do was do projects where I could film myself in front of a green screen. Remember, one of my original ideas was to actually set up a whole desk in front of it and do like a gaming news show where I would read the news and have background stuff behind me edited and whatever. And that just never happened, okay? It never happened. I used the screen once ever. I danced in front of it, and I put that green screen footage out on the internet, and now you see it every day. Right now, people cheer. You see that footage pop up on the stream, right? So that was the whole point of the green screen, was I was supposed to be able to do special events and things with that, all right? Number one, that green screen is way too big to fit in here. And I see people saying, oh, cut the green screen and do that. Leads me to number two. The stand for that green screen is giant. Fucking-normous, okay? That green screen is meant to be a studio-sized green screen that goes up above your head and goes down to the floor, and you're stepping on it and shit to hold it in place. It's not meant for an office like this. The stand alone would not fit wall to wall in this office. It's too big, okay? That green screen also is damaged. Over the years, it's been in the garage. It's just been exposed, being in the garage, to weather elements. It's got the stands, you know, I'll be honest, stepped on them, drove over them. They're wrecked. The whole thing's a piece of shit, and I'm throwing it out. the whole thing is garbage. I actually said to my wife, I said, why the fuck do we still have this thing? We got to throw this out next dump trip that we make. And we're getting rid of it the next time we go to the dump. The whole thing's destroyed and ruined. It's a waste of time, okay? So we're getting rid of that. What I want is a little green screen. They make these now because streaming is so popular. So many people do it. You can get like a green screen kit right off of Amazon, a streamer's green screen kit, where there's a little pop-up thing that goes behind you that has it supports itself. It's not like you have to attach it to your wall or whatever. It's a freestanding thing that pops open behind you. And then all I got to worry about is adjusting the lighting in my office. But, you know, I think I'd be able, if I have a smaller chair, whether it's that brown chair or if I can afford it, I like to get a new chair, some kind of a comfy, ergonomic chair that I could sit here and have nice comfy gaming sessions and relax here in the office, and then have a nice pop-up green screen behind me, okay? That's what I would like to do, all right? That's number one, the one concrete addition to my stream that I think would just improve it and help it in the short term. Now, am I close to being able to do this right now? No. Like I said, the number one priority for me in my life is this tax situation. Once the tax situation's figured out, then we can start to look to this stuff. So I want you to understand, this is not, oh, I'm doing this next week. This is maybe within a few months, we can look at it and say, okay, I can do this maybe by the end of the year. Mature adult, shoot again. So I want to buy you a green screen. Can you put it on your Amazon wish list? I will eventually. Not yet. Let me take some time here to figure out the whole tax situation. And I really want to get rid of this stupid couch. And once I handle that later this year, hopefully, then we can talk, all right? I don't want to get a green screen now and then not be able to use it and everyone be disappointed again, okay? I can maybe start to do improvements to the business, you know, once I get to pass this stupid back taxes thing that I'm still waiting on. As soon as that's done, then I can start thinking, okay, here's what I have money-wise. Maybe I can get rid of this stupid love seat and get a chair and set up a green screen and maybe do some more improvements. You know, some people said maybe a new webcam or something. Yeah, I could look to do that possibly by the end of the year. Hey, maybe I can afford the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. Mature adult cheered again, said I can't wait to see a green screen up and running. Yes, I hope I can do it later this year. It would be nice. It would actually be nice to do that. We'll see. I should be able to afford one console, if not both. We'll see. And possibly even by the end of this year, make some improvements to the business, like maybe get rid of this stupid couch, get a new chair, get a green screen set up, maybe get a new webcam. You know, all these things I'm debating if I can afford it. Okay? So, again, I don't want to jump the gun. I still haven't heard from the government on my back taxes, and according to my accountant, he's basically saying they're going to take forever. They could take months and months because they're so backlogged because of coronavirus. We may not hear from them until, like, the fall on this shit, which is so stupid, right? But I got to get rid of this couch and clean up the office a bit so I can put a different chair here that'll be more spacious and probably better back support for me in general. And then I can look to do things like maybe set up a small green screen or something behind me, which people have asked for years and years. It would probably finally be viable, okay? It could just be the brown chair that I've had from Connecticut, because I still have that over in the storage nook. The thing is, I don't know how that's going to work out. I don't know how much support it has. I don't know how comfy it'll be. I need to try it out. Also, camera-wise, to see how does it look on camera and stuff. So chances are I'm going to get rid of this couch, and I'm going to put that brown chair in here at some point during this year, and we're going to see how that looks. If that looks good, great, we'll keep it. But maybe it won't be comfy enough or whatever. We'll have to see. Once we figure out if it's good enough, or if I need to get a new chair, maybe I'll get a new chair. And then I want to get a green screen set up. You guys have asked me for a green screen setup for so effing long. I said, all right, why don't I finally do it? Right now, you can very easily get a green screen setup that's like a square on a stand that goes behind you when you're streaming. They sell them sets. You can buy them on Amazon. You can buy them all over the internet. Streamer green screen sets. So I would like to get one of those and try to position it behind the chair. The thing is, I can't do it here. Look, this goes right to the wall. There's like maybe a few inches of space between this and the wall, but this couch is huge. Once this couch is out of here and it's just a chair, I should actually have room behind me to do this. That's why I was never able to do it before now. So I got a chair and position it and maybe just set up a green screen here in the office so that we could do that on, like right now, I obviously wouldn't use a green screen, just talking to you guys. But obviously when I'm doing gameplay and I'm in a webcam and a little, I wouldn't even need the border anymore. We get rid of the border, it's just me playing a game, right? So we're gonna try that out. Keep going the way they're going. Not only can I maybe start to make better improvements to the streams, like I said, get the new consoles, get rid of this couch, get a better setup here, where maybe I can do a better chair, a green screen possibly, maybe a better webcam, maybe long term, obviously this isn't going to happen anytime soon, maybe I can actually every once in a while take an extra day off to spend time with my wife, be setting up a green screen behind me and messing with it for a bit, maybe eventually getting a new webcam and stuff like that. Like, these are things that I definitely want to do to improve the business, okay? But I got to make sure that, number one, this stuff is going to keep happening. You know, it's sustainable. And number two, that no other crazy thing happens behind the scenes that screws me over. Because I swear to you, every time it looks like things are going well, something happens, and I'm nervous about that. Although maybe it's unwarranted nervousness and anxiety at this point, because things have been going really good this year, okay? But we'll see. But anyway, because of you and your support, great things are happening. Rewards, like Gunner glasses at $50, the vest at $100, and at 200 people can decide what they want. I could put on a jersey, I could do a stupid thing where I spin in the chair, make myself dizzy like an idiot. I can do many different things, okay? But that's how it's gonna proceed. Also, as you can see, no more love seat. We got a new seating arrangement.
What happened here?
And I'm planning on possibly later this year getting a green screen. We'll see. Maybe a new chair too, because this chair is an old chair. Because we lost that momentum, Monday night, the vest streak ended. I take full responsibility for it. I blame no one but myself, okay? And when that happened, it was obviously eye-opening, because I was like, man, with the vest streak ending, I don't know now what's going to happen in the future for me. Are the streams going to be as hype? Are we going to get as many people on the streams? Are we going to get people supporting the streams as much as they had? Income is a factor here, because I had made all these plans to definitely get the PlayStation 5, maybe get one of the new Xbox consoles. I wanted to do all these improvements to my setup, including the possibility of upgrading my webcam, getting a green screen, and doing all these positive, fun things. And was that all off the table now? You know, and that's going to remain a concern of mine, is now, because the vest streak is over, right? Does that mean that the level of support that I was getting is over? Because I really do feel that the vest streak, again, it was momentum, and it was something that was, like I said, it was a symbol of, wow, Phil's an underdog. Everyone knows that Phil is the guy who'd be applauded, okay? Spartan King cheered. He said, Polish Frog had a suggestion to start filming yourself on pre-stream instead of rolling the fan art, and it would allow you to utilize the green screen during the segment. Him and I agree this feels more personal. Here's the thing. Today, I'm doing this as pre-stream because I wanted to show you guys the new setup, right? I don't know if I'm going to do this every day. By the way, the pre-stream artwork has a purpose. People who are new to the stream want to see that, to know what's going on and stuff. It's nice to have new fan art to be featured. I'm not going to do this every single day. We'll see. Maybe some days I'll do it, some days I won't. We'll see, okay? If I have a green screen, you won't see the decorations. Now, obviously, I can do green screen and put other stuff behind me, like superimpose Halloween artwork or something, but I'd rather have, like, the real decorations. I have a lot of stuff I got last year for Halloween. So, I don't know. Maybe I can get an Xbox Series X. I'm not confirmed on that yet, but we have to see what happens with price. I have to see how much money I make in the next few weeks. I have to look on pricing for these things, see how stuff goes. I'm looking to improve my business, you know, get some improvements. Maybe get a new chair, get a green screen background, maybe eventually get a new webcam, get a new PC. These are all things I can now consider doing because I don't have exorbitant amounts of debt in my name that are taking all my money on a daily basis. That's why I went to the bankruptcy. I know. See, Polish Frog says, you'll need to get your lighting sorted before you get a green screen because you can't have a shadow on a green screen. You're right. What I'll have to do is, if I use the green screen, I'll have to turn on the lamp all the time. Like, in the fall, usually I don't use the lamp, but I'm going to have to because I need the direct light on me in order to avoid getting the shadow there. So that way I could use a green screen and have a badass shadow. You're right. You're absolutely right. Okay. Now, some people are screaming for a green screen. Well, you can scream to your heart's content until you lose your voice. We're not doing green screen anytime yet. What I'm thinking is this. Let's ride out the hardcore gaming season. Let's not do any major changes to my setup or anything right now because we're in the midst of a very busy gaming season. Every week we got multiple major releases coming out. And I don't want to screw stuff up. Let's put it that way. Okay? I know that implementing a green screen is something that's going to be some work. I'm going to have to figure out how to make it work in OBS. I'm probably going to have to tweak the lighting in my office to make it so that the lighting is good enough so there's not shadows behind me and it makes it look terrible. You know? Like, I know it's going to be something that has a learning curve, okay? And I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with learning how to do it. Just not during the busiest gaming season of the year. You know, I need to be able to be here consistently every day pumping out gameplay for you guys, playing the hot new releases, unboxing the new console, you know what I mean? Throwing another factor into the mix at this point would not be a good idea. It would be like, why add a new variable to things when you need to be here the most consistently? You know, for this year, we're at number 1, get the PlayStation 5. Number 2, afford all the games and accessories for PlayStation 5. Number 3, get an Xbox Series X. Number 4, look to upgrade some of my equipment, like my webcam or a chair. I'm gonna need a new chair because this chair, I'm telling you, is not gonna last. It's already creaking and everything, and I've only been using it for like 3 weeks. And then more long-term, like next year, green screen. Like I said, probably January-ish, we're gonna have the green screen set up. Maybe get next year, be able to afford a new PC would be outstanding if I could do that. That's all the stuff that I need to do because now I'm finally in a situation where I don't have this insane amount of debt over my head, and I can do it. Problem is, every day that I make money, I don't even know what I'm making anymore. And it's creaking just for me sitting in it every day. So I guarantee by the end of this year, this chair is going to be falling apart. So I'm probably going to get a new chair. Then, after the PS5, all the games, maybe an Xbox Series X, a new chair, then maybe a new laptop, maybe a new webcam, the green screen. You know, these are the next step. Because I figure if I'm going to do green screen, I should probably get a new webcam too. You know, like why should I be using the same old piece of shit webcam if I'm going to upgrade to be able to do a green screen? It probably doesn't make much sense. So, and now that hopefully I'm climbing myself out of the hole that I was in financially, you know, improvements, right? Actual improvements, whether it be a new chair, a new webcam, a green screen, a new PC, all these things, you know, kind of being possible now. Really for the first time ever. So, good stuff. When will I be putting up a green screen? Well, Billy, I've been talking about this on my streams recently. I have a series of things I want to do, all right, before I get to something like that. First of all, I want to get the PS5 and the headphones and all the games that I want to play on it and be able to afford all that by the end of the year. That's priority number 1. Priority 2 would be maybe getting an Xbox Series X. Now, the thing is, I don't know when that's going to be viable. I didn't get in on pre-ordering it. So when will stores actually have more Xbox Series X's to buy, right? Will it even be by the end of this year? Maybe not. And if that's the case, that maybe won't be one of the things that I'm worried about right away, but that is kind of my second priority, to get the Xbox Series X. I don't need to set up a green screen and look like I'm at a news desk. This just in, they disassembled the PS5 and the video on YouTube has 1.5 million views in only 6 hours. Can we get a green screen? Like I said, I'm going to probably look to do that early next year. All right. Anyway, I definitely should have had a small, now I know, now that I have a smaller chair, I enjoy having the flexibility of the smaller chair. Even it's just better for gaming in general. So now I know. And like I said, one of the major changes I want to make next year, hopefully early next year, if I can afford it, is to get a much better chair, and then I can maybe do a green screen setup and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, we'll talk about that when we get through the holidays here. I'll probably get a green screen. I may try to get a new chair because this chair is not working very well, to be honest. I want a better chair, so I might do like a whole new setup over here. So those are like the step 1 of 2021 things that I need to upgrade if and when I can. All right. After that, then I can start to look to do other stuff. The green screen is something I want to do, but I'd rather do it if I can do it in implementation of like other upgrades. So for example, why do a green screen setup if also maybe sometime in 2021 I'm going to update my PC and then I can maybe do something better? You know what I mean? So we'll see. But step 1 is definitely the chair. Step 2 is a new laptop. Once I have a new chair, then I can at least consider, okay, if I want to do a green screen, I know how it's going to look with the new chair and everything. You know what I mean? So we got to get through that stuff first, and then we'll go into other upgrades. Okay, it's definitely a possibility. Excuse me. Then 2021, I'm going to do a lot of upgrades, but it depends. It also depends on how stuff goes. We got to see how stuff goes with the stream support and everything. You know, things could change, right? Just because things have been good this year doesn't mean it's going to continue, but I hope it does, obviously. I want to stay positive. But let's see what happens. All right. Angle for recording or anything. I want to get a better chair. I want to get a better laptop. I can barely even use my laptop anymore. Even refreshing it and everything, it barely works. So I would say first 2 equipment upgrades for 2021 when I could do them is a new chair and a new laptop, all right? Once those are done, we can look more long-term towards things like, can we add a green screen? Can I get a better PC to handle that? You know what I mean? Like upgrading the capture setup, because right now I can only capture at 1080p. So maybe I could improve the capture setup. If I have a new PC or whatever, it could be better. I don't know. Right now I'm very limited with what I can do. I'm not kidding. I'm using 6-year-old capture device, you know, and this is my job, and I'm using a 6-year-old capture device. So those are things I would say. Number one's got to be the chair and the laptop. Those are essentials to even do daily work. Then it would be, can I upgrade my rest of my setup over the course of the year? We'll see what happens. Okay, but I hope I can. We'll have to find out. And then go from there. You know, again, the one thing that I absolutely want to say is I just hope that 2021 could possibly be the first year for like the past 5-6 years where there's no panic. There's no scariness about income and about things that are going to, oh my God, now something happened and I can't stream and I can't put videos on YouTube and I got screwed over. Every year there's some kind of crazy panic and shit. And now it's looking like this is setting up that this next year may be a fresh year where everything is good, I hope. Oh, the green screen that I have is completely broken. I haven't used it in 5 years. It's been sitting in my garage and it's dilapidated and falling apart. It's also way too big for it anyway, so it's not gonna happen. Ron Morning Woodshed says, I should put up the green screen I promised you. I didn't promise anyone a green screen at all. That's a complete fucking lie. I said I want to do a green screen this year. I'm going to work towards it, but I don't have one, and I need to basically try to work to get one. But I already said there's other things that are way more important before I look to upgrade anything like that. Like my laptop and my chair are the 2 things that are more important that need to be upgraded first. I also been talking about this. I can't do it this month because this month I've got a bunch of extra bills that come due because it's end of the year / early year. I've got a quarterly tax bill I owe to the state. I've got another stupid tax that I have to pay that's extra on top of all my normal shit. So I don't have any funds right now. Like this month, I know I won't have any extra funds. In fact, anything extra that I get is going to go directly to these extra bills. All right? But I'm thinking next month might be much better. Next month, I think I might be in a much better position and be able to actually do some stuff. Okay? Now that's creepy because it looks like maybe I can look to do a green screen or if I get a new camera, because what's the point of the green screen if the camera still looks blurry and shit, right? So, some stuff there, you know, to think about. Gimme Mo Cheer says, I miss when you used to have stuff behind you. We consider setting up a shelf, putting up figurines or something, maybe different art pieces. Well, of course, the ultimate goal is at some point to upgrade my setup and have a green screen, which I can't do right now. It's not possible, especially with my current setup and the way I do stuff in OBS. I would need everything, better lighting, better everything. Have I thought about getting a green screen? Yes, something I'd like to do, but I know my current setup, it wouldn't work. I would need to basically, number one, improve my setup so that the quality of my webcam could be better. Right now, if I do increase that, it's basically going to max the CPU on my computer. So I know I can't do that right now. What I'd like to do eventually is upgrade my computer and upgrade my setup so I could have it, but I can't just do that overnight. So long-term, something I'd like to do. Okay. Use a green screen. Okay, right now I could go get a green screen. It would look terrible. Why? Because my webcam is terrible. Right? My webcam is not great quality. So if you put a green screen behind me, it doesn't matter. It's still going to look bad. It's going to look pixelated. It's going to look blurry. It's not going to look good. So then you say, okay, well then upgrade your webcam. All right, so now I got to go spend money on a webcam or whatever. Fair enough. But since I moved from Twitch to YouTube, right, I upped my stream quality. Now every single stream is 1080p, 60 frames per second. In some cases, like me staring at Raul just staring back at me creepily, it's not a big deal. Right now, I'm looking at my CPU use, and it says it's roughly 30-31%, because there's nothing going on the screen right now. But in particular, in regards to games that are full of action, or games where there's a lot going on, my CPU is pushing 80 to 90% most of the time. This computer that I have is over 7 years old. It's at a point where it's, you know, I'm doing the most I can possibly do with it. It's not going to be able to do anything. If I bought a better webcam right now, in fact, this webcam right now I'm using does 1080p. But years ago, I actually had this webcam at a higher quality, and when I had it at the 1080p and I was doing it with 1080p video, my stream would chop up. And people would say to me, why's going on? I was like, oh, I think it's the camera. And then what happened is I would lower the camera quality, and then everything worked. Because it's too much. My computer is old, man. It's old. Do you want to see better webcam, green screen, all that? Great. I need a new PC, and we got to get to that point. Right now is not the time for that stuff. I'm about to enter the best, busiest gaming season of the year. I need equipment that's going to be here working every day, not me trying to learn something new on the fly right when I need to be here every day for all the big releases, right? Right now is one of the worst times to buy computers. Components are monstrously overpriced, very hard, big scarcity right now because of COVID and everything. This is probably one of the worst times that you could possibly want to buy a new PC. Okay. Upgrade my setup, get a new PC, do a green screen, do this, do that. And all that possibility was taken away from me by Twitch. All of it. So, it is what it is. It sucks ass. Am I in monstrous debt like I was? No. That's good. But I'm still behind on taxes and I can't really catch up. I wish I could. There's right now, the fact that I now am making thousands of dollars less a month than I was just a few months ago, I can't catch up like I was. My plan was get caught up and even have excess. Now it's barely making do again. So it is what it is. I don't want to talk about my finances publicly all day, Snow Carl. I really wish you'd stop fucking bringing it up. You know, again, people say I took the bait. I'm trying to be nice and answer your question. Most people don't want to hear this, dude. You understand that, right? Most people don't want to hear the fucking sob stories of how Twitch fucked me for the 400th time. Chris B is to me $1.50 and says, any update when we'll get a green screen set up by the end of year of next? I've already explained this, but I'll explain it again in detail since you've asked during a Q&A session. We have time to explain. So, earlier this year, I was going to implement some changes. I was going to implement a green screen. I was going to obviously get a new laptop and a new chair. I told you guys those were the two top priorities I needed to do first before I did any other upgrades. And I was going to get a new PC. I had all this stuff in mind. My plans for this year were as follows. Since earlier this year, I was actually getting to a better financial situation, all right? My plan was going to be to try to earn some extra money, save it, and then by maybe mid to late year, see how much extra money I have, and use that to do upgrades to the streams, okay? And then what happened? Twitch kicked me out of the partner program for no justifiable reason at all besides they're just assholes. No actual reason at all. Like literally, they didn't even give one. They refused to give me any explanation or any evidence of any wrongdoing. So I lost a ton of money. I was making this much, and I went down to making about this much. Now, luckily, you guys supported me with tips, so I've slowly started to recover from that over the course of the year, but I'm absolutely still making less now than I was earlier this year when I was full-time on Twitch. You know, just take a look at the amount of members I have here compared to the subs I used to have over there. Take a look at the super chats that come in here versus the cheers that I used to get constantly over there. It's very different. It's a big discrepancy between what I make here and what I used to make on Twitch, okay? So because of that, I'm not even kidding you, it's been hard to just make ends meet this year. I'm already, sadly, barely making, like, the payments I need to make on the stuff that I'm making. It's a pain in the ass. And those things kind of went by the wayside over the years. But this is basically exactly how this is utilized. It's a meme generator, but it's a soundboard, but it's a way to transition between scenes. It does a lot of different things that you can custom program it to do, okay? But there's nothing I can do right now. As much as I would like to implement something like this or a green screen, I can't. I'm literally pushed to my limits with what I can do with my limited equipment and setup, okay? Like I said, next year, I would definitely consider. There's already people who've offered donations and the like to help me get a new PC set up and everything. And I'm very appreciative of that. Yes, 2022 should be the year that we do that. Seriously, what we should do is wait for a lull in games, whether that be like, because it's... Marx is Carl. The super chat says, when is the green screen coming out? As I've explained about 4,000 times over the last year, green screen would not be implemented well until I get a new PC to upgrade my webcam and everything else. So it's a ways out. I'm in no rush to upgrade my PC right now. That was not good. It was already sinking in, falling apart. I definitely needed a better setup to be here streaming with you guys every day. At the very same time, I wanted to do upgrades to the streams. I talked about, let's get a green screen, a better webcam. Let's do all these improvements and things that we can do to the stream. But to do that, I really need a new PC. Because my PC, I've been using every single day full-time since 2014. And this PC is at its limits of what it can do. Jobs for limitations, and also upgrade my setup so I can get a new webcam that's high definition, for real, not fucking, you know, what I got now, which is pixelated as shit, even though it's supposed to be 1080p, it's really not. I want to basically get a better setup so that we can do, you know, maybe a green screen and stuff like that. People have wanted for a long time. How you doing? Toxicity Firestar says, if I end up getting a green screen, will I get rid of the webcam border? I mean, the whole point of the webcam border is so that you don't see this. I used to have it look like this. I used to do this all the time. And it doesn't look very professional, quite frankly. You know? By the way, this is not working. Look. Try again. It doesn't look very professional just having the camera just kind of hanging out. By adding the border, at least it looks like it's separated from the rest of the stream. You know what I mean? Wow, this is glitched to shit. Green screen, obviously what I would try to implement is just having me in front of the game, right? Probably I'd be bigger. I'd make myself a little bigger, but I'd be like maybe in a corner or whatever to try to figure out how I could be there and not be too intrusive to the game. We'd have to figure it out. We'd have to mess around. But yeah, I mean, it would make sense. Why would you need the border, right? The webcam talking with you guys. There's no gameplay. There's no rendering. My CPU usage is at 50%. Just the webcam, 50%. So I turn the game on, now it goes like 80%. See what I'm saying? Like, I have no leeway to do anything right now and improve my setup in any way. I'm to my limits, okay? But with a new PC, it wouldn't be doing that, okay? So, new PC, new, you know, webcam that will likely be like a high definition streaming camera. Now we can look for other improvements. For example, everyone says you need green screen. You guys have been saying I need green screen since like the day I started streaming, okay? And every time that you've told me this, I've asked you a question. I said, okay, what would green screen add to my setup? You know, realistically, what would it add to my setup? What would it improve? And some people have different opinions. Some people feel that when I'm streaming, having this camera in a box, like I have it with a border, oh, it takes up too much space of the gameplay. And I'm kind of like, yeah, but does it? Because we've resized it, we've changed it, we've done all these different things, right? And does it really affect the stream in such a negative way? I mean, take a look at this. Thank you very much, Justin R, for the tip. This takes up more space than the webcam, right? But you guys want that. You want attention for when you contribute. So what's wrong with the webcam being in a box? I've seriously always kind of been opposed. I'll be honest. I've always been opposed to a green screen. I feel that the whole green screen thing is a thing that content creators all jumped on a bandwagon a long time ago. Someone probably at one point implemented a green screen in a really creative way, and everyone said, oh, I want to be like that person. And so everyone just adopted it, just blanket. 99% of people who use a green screen probably don't even implement it in any creative way or even need it. It's just there to have it, to say, oh, I have it like everyone else. But if you have a stream where you have a camera and there's stuff going on, like for example, look at this behind me. I got decorations, right? We got stuff going on. It's not just boring behind me. At least there's stuff going on. Then I don't see the problem with having a border or whatever. So personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with my setup as is. But when people for years and years and years are breaking me down and saying, you need the green screen, you need to do, all right. So I would like to do it, but again, there's no way that I could do that unless I have a setup that will support it. What's the point of doing a green screen if it looks like shit because I'm using a webcam that's 8-9 years old? Well, I can't upgrade the webcam because the PC can't handle it. So it's kind of like this series of steps that we need to take to get there and then see if green screen's viable. And by the way, people were ridiculous. Why isn't he using his green screen setup? You mean the one from 2015? The one that was in my garage that was a ginormous fabric green screen the size of the wall of my garage, not something you can use in an office setting? It's broken and tossed. I got rid of it years ago. That thing sat in my garage, no exaggeration. I did that series of green screen footage. I put it up on the internet. Everyone used it for good and bad or whatever purposes, right? And then it just sat there and kept getting in disrepair and falling apart in the garage. It's gone. That thing's been broken and tossed at the dump for like 2-3 years ago. It's gone. I don't have a green screen right now. Now, the thing is, I know for a fact that there's green screen setups that are inexpensive, easy to pop up. There's ones that are just like a big pop-up board. They go, they unfold, and you can put them behind you, or they unroll like green fabric. It'll unroll right behind you, and you can put it down. It has like weights. It weights it down to the floor so it's smooth. And all you need to do is get better lighting. Like my lighting right now is a cheap lamp. Seriously, it's a El Cheapo lamp that I've used for over a decade. It's it's crappy quality. I would have to get some kind of better lighting for sure if I was going to do something like green screen. I'd have to. The problem is, and here's what's going to happen if I go green screen. Okay, and I know exactly what's going to happen. It's not going to look nearly as good as people think it will look. Okay, and people will complain, and they'll say, "Well, it doesn't look good. Why?" And I'll answer, because in my office, the front wall of my office has a window. This window points towards the sun. The sun hits it every afternoon. That's why I tell you guys, sometimes this office heats up like an oven sometimes because it gets so hot with the sun beating on it in the afternoon. I have blinds that I close, but as you see, they don't really stop the light. The light still comes through between the blinds when the sun is beating on it. So in order to really do a green screen setup that's effective and looks good, I would have to buy blackout curtains of some sort to put there. The problem is this is not a giant back door or even a regular window. This is a weird wide sliding window. I'd have to go to like Lowe's or Home Depot, and I'm not kidding. I'd have to pay a ton of money to custom order and have custom installed blackout blinds or blackout curtains on the window to stop all light from coming in during the daytime. If you notice those people who actually do the green screen consistently, take a look at the rooms that they broadcast from. It's 4 walls, no windows, no light. It's just only lighting in there they control with like a lamp or whatever, right? I don't have that flexibility. I don't even have a fucking room in my house that has no windows. Seriously. So I would have to do not only upgrade the PC, upgrade the camera, upgrade the lighting, buy a green screen. Buy blackout, curtains now for this so that that light doesn't affect anything. You're talking extensive amounts of upgrades and time to do this. For what? For what benefit for the green screen? Again, I'm not against it. I'm really not against it. It's just I know it's an insane amount of work when we could be focusing on, let's do fun gameplay streams, let's do fun interactive streams, let's just have a good time with stuff this year. Oh no, Phil has to take time away now and spend a ton of time and money and everything to get a green screen setup working. Is that really what you guys want? You know what I'm saying? Hardware or equipment and even consider doing a green screen. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm basically looking for kind of a workhorse computer when it comes to encoding, when it comes to streaming. That's what I need. Something that's stable, and also I can upgrade my camera, I can upgrade the setup, and not have it be maxing out my CPU and my RAM use. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. But yeah, that's my goal. My goal is, step 1, upgrade the PC, get a new PC. Step 2, upgrade the webcam, get that working better, possibly look into a green screen. Step 3, dabble in maybe other things. You want to see me maybe mess with 5K and give it a shot, but I'm not looking for a high-end PC that's going to do gaming as well as capture streaming. I just want it to be a dedicated PC for the highest quality capturing and streaming that I can do. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. It won't work with my setup. My setup, like I said, already is being... Webcam is over 10 years old. I've been using this darn thing. Okay, not to say it's a bad webcam, but it's just not good. It's not real 1080p. People want to see better quality. Every other streamer is using a better webcam than me, and I know that. Okay, I'm well aware of that. I can't upgrade the webcam right now. If I did, it won't work with my setup. My setup, like I said, already is being pushed to the limits of what it can do. If I were to put in a real high quality webcam or a digital camera and try to stream it through my setup, the whole thing would just crap out. All right, so I need a new PC, and once the new PC is in place and working, now we can explore new things, like a new camera, a new setup behind me, where in some cases when I'm playing games, maybe I could do a green screen or something. Like, they actually have setups, like fold-out green screen, so I could do the pre-stream podcast like this, and then I could say, okay, and then zoop, put a green screen behind me, and now you could just see me sitting here in the chair playing games, like a lot of other streamers, right? That's just an idea. I'm not saying we have to do that, because some people like the green screen idea, some people don't. Okay? And then on top of that, trying to learn things such as, a green screen setup or a higher quality camera and how I'm going to do that. I have a Stream Deck that people bought for me years ago, and I can't use it because I'm using old Windows, but having new Windows, I can use a Stream Deck. I got to use that. So essentially, it's going to be a huge amount of learning for me. I'm okay with it now. I'm 40. I can do it. When will we see setup changes like a new PC and green screen? AMZ, like I said, I didn't want to consider doing anything like that until we finished Elden Ring. Like, this was the biggest playthrough. It took over 2 months to do. Once Elden Ring is done, all right, what I will do is start having open discourse with you guys about it, because I can't afford it. I told you guys, I can't afford upgrades. But we could talk about possibly doing special events for fundraising. We could talk about if people want to contribute. I already have someone who offered to maybe give some components for a new computer. Problem is, I haven't built a PC since the early 2000s, man. I don't even know if I could do it myself. Yes, green screen could be an option, but it's not necessarily something I'm rushing to. I mean, you gotta think of it in order here. Step number 1, getting the new PC and getting it working. Step number 2, upgrading the visual quality of my streams, whether it be the capture quality of the gameplay, the camera, etc. Like step 7 or 8 would be, green screen implementation. You know, that's something to work towards once all those other things happen first. And eventually, yes, once all new improvements get implemented, I'd like to do like a green screen or whatever. Can't do that now. So sitting here and complaining and asking for it, you're wasting your time. All you're doing is you're blowing hot air, and there's nothing I can do about it. I know what we all want. I've talked about it for years. We got to get to that point, all right? But it's called incremental improvement. Incremental improvement, all right? A pre-built versus if I were to buy the components separately, right? What exactly am I looking for? By the way, this PC, I have to clarify this because people still are not understanding, okay? It's not a gaming PC. I'm not buying a gaming PC. I need to buy a PC that is dedicated to capturing and streaming at the quality I want, which would be 1080p, 60 frames, with a high quality webcam that has flexibility. So maybe if I want to do widescreen, if I want to do green screen, I want it to be a PC that can handle all of that and not be maxing out all of its CPU and everything. I need to have it so that I can do it with no frame drops. Right now, I get big frame drops when I do 60 frames per second streaming. I know that. I want no frame drops. Really different. What is my current stance on getting a green screen? The same that it's always been. Can't do it now. Wouldn't work with my setup. I need to have better capabilities, a better lighting situation, a better webcam / camcorder that I'm going to use to record myself. There would have to be a series of improvements to my setup before I could get to the point where a green screen would even make sense. Do I have room behind me to do a green screen? Yes, I do. But we have to get to that point, and we have to figure it out. Like, what I'm thinking is I'd have to have one of those cloth green screens that can like unfold and stand on a stand behind you, and then I would have to get much better lighting. I'm using a really cheap lamp that probably a college student would use in their dorm room. That's what I have in here. I'd have to get like really professional lighting in here to get it to work. And I want to be able to handle an upgrade of other things as well. For example, I want to be able to have a better webcam that's not a webcam, but maybe like a digital camera or a camcorder running through my setup, so it's much higher quality. I mean, it would be nice to have like a 1080p quality webcam in addition to the video. And then once everything's better, all right, then I can look into things such as, maybe I can do a green screen setup behind me or whatever. Right now, none of that's feasible. I actually tried upgrading the webcam to 1080p. The whole stream started crapping out and getting choppy. So I couldn't even do that. I had to turn it back. Okay. Other React streamers do a green screen. I don't have green screen, so I can't do that. I understand what you're saying. This, of all the times of the content that I made, this might have actually been a time when a green screen would have been utilized well. Because if it's just my body shoulders overlaying over this full screen Sony video, got it. Understand 100%, agree with you on that fact. This is the one time I feel in the history that I've made content of 14 years that a green screen may have come in handy. Outside of today, probably never before, all right? But I don't have a way to do that. So we're not going to say, you should have done... No, you know I can't do that. So let's not even dabble in that. The question is, full screen Sony, me small, or me full screen, Sony small. Because my concern is, if Sony's full screen and I'm the small box, I'm blocking 1/4 of the screen, right? In which case, why am I doing a live react if I'm a small box on the screen you can't see, right? What's the point of the live react then? Don't you want to see my live reaction? Isn't that the point?